I'm sharing my screen. Okay, I believe everyone can see my screen, right? Just let me know if it's all okay.
Yes, it's fine. We can see your screen.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah, we are able to see.
Okay. So if you know Aarohi, to some extent, we are lovers of good news. And I want to start this evening with three good news that we feel for the youth of today, right? The first one being there is an abundance of possibilities in terms of in this day and age, every interest is worth pursuing, right? Like you name it and you can make it as a profession or explore a profession in that space. So that's the first good news. Today there is really a lot of options that youth can pursue and have a diverse set of options to consider. The second good news that we feel is youth really thrive. Youth, teens, we've seen that they really thrive from challenges and challenges that are relevant, right, to something that they would be doing. So not just doing something in isolation and then applying it in life, but taking it head on and doing something that's relevant. So that's the second good news that we see. And finally, the great news is that the world is also ready to embrace you. Especially today, there is, all the lines are blurring to a great extent in the sense like the hierarchies are coming down. People are more willing to, accept you irrespective of your age as long as you're adding value. So that's the third good news for this evening. With the good news, we are seeing there are some hurdles which um, are a barrier for these youth or teen to really put in their full potential. I mean, let's look at what these hurdles are. The first one being, not everyone is very clear about their interest choice, which is quite natural at this age. And at CoVersity, we say, not a problem. Let's go ahead and deeply explore different domains and then make an informed choice of, what profession I want to get into. The second hurdle that we feel is from the industry side, where the skills that you pick up is not or the learning is not up to the industry standards, which is why we have so many on the job training. It's an industry by itself where you're trained to get into jobs. So at CoVersity, we say start connecting and working in the industry from day one. So all your skill building is in alignment with what the industry requires you to be. And the finally is, you know, somewhere there's a lot of emphasis on external parameters or benchmarks, exams, scores, results. We are saying flip the coin and why not the youth leading their lives? They decide what is it that they want to learn, in what shape and form, with whom, from whom, and they kind of take ownership of their life. So that's how we wish to look at it at CoVersity. So that's the basic ethos of CoVersity, where youth get a chance, an opportunity to discover their passion and grow in it professionally. This is a brief map of what this concept is. Basically, youth come together in a cohort and they deep dive in their interests to see which is quite exciting for them and they want to make it as their profession. And the learning is by working in their domain, and this work is connected to the industry, right? You take up projects, you do internships, volunteering, but a lot of the learning is connected with the industry right from day one. And you're supported by guides who are facilitators, kind of helping you be on your vision. And then there are mentors who are the industry experts, the domain experts. And at the end of it, the idea is to develop expertise in my domain, but also build myself through the process of, leading my life in the professional sphere. All right. So this is not a very linear progression, but this is how we see a CoVersity journey really building up to. So initially, you start by exploring one or multiple domains. If you're not clear, you kind of, deep dive into multiple domains. Then you decide, okay, this is where it's really clicking for me. And then you start building deeper expertise in that domain. And the final leap is when you're able to offer value to the world and you receive value in return. Now, this could be monetary value, societal value, and the value that you determine, right? So that's when maybe you can say Tata bye bye to CoVersity. So this is the progression that we see for a CoVersity journey. Okay. So, and the core essence of a journey like CoVersity is with your interests. Whether you're clear about your interests or, you're still unsure, hey, I have multiple interests and I'm not really sure which one to go into. We say start with one or two and commit to it. Commit to it in the sense like start doing deeper work in terms of something that is adding value to someone, either a client or a community. Take up such projects or do internships and then kind of decide whether that interest is for you or not. So the entire journey of 1 year, you commit starting with 1 year. Now, this 1 year, some bits you'll be on campus. And what is happening on campus? So you come together with your cohort, and the on-campus phase is really about building a rigor towards your exploration of this domain. Now you're doing this through, your daily workouts as in challenges that you take up in your domain, or you are doing client projects, or if need be, if you feel you want to learn something through some course or workshops. So this is the time where you are kind of building a roadmap in your uh, field of interest. There's also the aspect of you seeing which aspect of your domain you want to go deeper into. Like in designing, let's say in product designing itself, there would be some areas that you want to kind of explore. So this is the time you're deciding, hey, this is the part that sounds exciting and I want to go deeper in. Besides the professional aspect, there's also the aspect of self-development that is a huge focus when you're at campus with your cohort. Like the cohort themselves decide this week we want to focus on public speaking. So they come together, prepare something and kind of, so that happens between themselves. Or if they feel there's a need for some guide to step in and kind of take a session on, let's say, networking or professional communication. So it's all decided by the cohort and they execute it to see how they can take it forward. The other side of the journey is the off campus, where you get a chance to kind of go out there and get connected to your industry. This really depends on each individual and what their domain is like. For some, it could mean internships are the way to go. For some, it could mean just being with a mentor and kind of observing them and learning the ropes of the industry by just being in their company. It could be road shows, it could be networking events. I mean, there are countless possibilities, and each one is catered as per your interest and aspiration. Now, after you complete your industry exposure phase, you come back to the campus, and then there's the point of reflection, like, hey, I spent a dedicated amount of time with full commitment towards this domain, a good solid 6 months. I have built a portfolio as well, over the course of time. Now, after these 6 months and enough exposure to the industry, am I itching to go further? And do I really want to, go further in this? Or, hey, I started off it, I thought I wanted to do this, but it isn't what I, imagined it to be. No worries. Let's look at some other domain. So this is the reflection phase. So typically it's out at the end of 6 months. Now, why a coversity journey, right? Like we know many unschoolers, homeschoolers have done this by themselves as well, which is great. But many a times there's also a need for a support system, and that's the crux of a journey like coversity. You have different, diverse types of support at different stages of your journey. The first and the primal support is your buddies, which is your cohort. These are your peers in the same age group, going through the same journey. Understanding is the max, right? They connect with each other the most. The second level is the guides. Now, guides are they are not domain experts, but they are more like facilitators who help you stay on track in terms of the vision that you built for yourself. They're also there to nudge you out of your comfort zone sometimes, and sometimes really assist you in terms of if you're kind of stuck somewhere, and they are there to support you. Mentors are more the domain experts. Now, the definition of mentors at coversity is very diverse. We don't stick to just the way of a person being a mentor. Now, in this day and age, with the accessibility we have, and with the kind of forums and support that you get through YouTube videos, I think mentoring has taken a very different level, and we would really like to explore different types of mentors, and that also depends on the teen or the youth in terms of what kind of mentorship they want. The last bit and the most important bit is you have the support of a tribe, of a community, a thriving community. So the community is already like a network for you, of solid 100 families who are doing a similar journey of open learning. So yes, that's the final system. Now, what are we looking at after, with a journey like coversity? We are saying you're work certified. At coversity, we don't give you a single piece of paper certifying you because we don't feel we have to certify you. Instead, you build a portfolio, which is your work certification. And that is how you approach the industry, which is what the 7 youth at coversity have currently done. And the great news is all of them have got their internships. And in fact, the industry was so surprised that something like this is happening that they went on to interview their parents as well. So VP is one such example. He can share his experience later. Like the parents are also interviewed. Okay, what are you doing really? How is this happening? The second important bit is that you are industry aware from day one. Your learning is totally aligned with the industry that you're wanting to get into. There's a lot of emphasis on networking and the 4 IR skills that are recommended by World Economic Forum, which is building the soft skills, domain agnostic skills like uh, team collaboration or networking or cognitive abilities and the likes. So a great emphasis is on the professional aspect, but equal emphasis is also on your self-development. Now, by the sheer nature of this journey, and because it is self-directed, you build in the skills of self-leadership, being in a cohort where the picture may not always be rosy. You're learning the skill of interdependence, learning to, tackle relationships. And because a huge chunk of this journey is about figuring it out by yourself, you're building on the much needed living skills. Now let's look at the possibilities that may, are and after your coversity journey, what are the possibilities that may happen? Some may want to look at an entrepreneurial side. Some may think, hey, I want a job in a particular firm of my choice. For some, it's like I want to dabble, let's say, in multiple domains and look at a freelancing as a option. Some domains, you just want to do it for the joy of it. So the possibilities are endless. We've listed 4 here. Again, it's very dependent on each learner and their aspirations. So I'm just going to play a video. I just need to share my sound as well. Just a moment. Okay, so CoVersity, as we understand, is not a college, right? There are no professors or uh, there's no curriculum that's fixed. So how do these youth go about their learning journey? So I am sharing one instance of Srijani who's interested in baking. So what all is she doing to kind of get an understanding of her domain? Okay, so we've kind of come to the end of the presentation. I am just going to leave this on screen. So this is like a snapshot of all the things we discussed. But yeah, now we can really open up for any questions or any thoughts.
Okay, maybe I go first. This is Aarti. My daughter is 13.
Hmm.
So, is she ready to do CoVersity already? Or we should wait a few more years? How does that work?
That's a good question, actually. And that is the reason why we have these trial weeks. So we have a CoVersity trial week in the month of December, because the next set of cohorts, I mean, you can join the current cohort in January. So before that, there is always this trial week where you get an exposure to this way of doing. And then it's also about seeing, okay, what the space is like, what the community is like, and deciding for yourself. So yeah, the trial week is what will help you see whether coversity is the thing for now, or okay, I like what they're doing, but I want to take a step back. So then open learning becomes uh, the next step. You can explore open learning, where open learning, the underlying foundation is same for coversity and open learning. Coversity, the only difference is it's a bit more focused towards one particular domain from a industry point of view. Otherwise, the way of doing is same. But in open learning, you can keep looking at exploring different domains, whereas coversity, you stay focused and committed to one or two domains uh, for an extended period of time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So are we going to be talking about the open education bit as well in this session, or perhaps not?
This session is primarily for coversity.
Okay,
The Saturday ones has a mix of both.
okay, okay, thank you.
So, Kirtika, for Ishan, for example, who's already at the campus and already on the open learning journey, how would being part of CoVersity help him at the moment?
Yeah, yeah. So, Chris, the thing is with coversity, his level of engagement would be slightly deeper in terms of the work he would be doing, right? I am sure with open learning, he has a solid process in terms of he's doing some projects here and there and whatever his interests are. And maybe he's looking at different interests. Uh, I'm not sure if he's looking at multiple interests or he's very keen on one. But the major difference is the kind of work he takes on for coversity would be it's a slightly deeper diving than open learning. And the whole industry exposure phase is where, it's all about connecting with the industry and seeing what's the skill set that he needs to build and kind of doing that by working on those kind of projects.
So he's already he's been interning, we can say, at an animation studio since he was 9.
Okay.
He goes regularly. We have a friend who has an animation studio, and Ishan's interest is drawing and art, and at the moment he's doing animation. So
okay, so then in that case, I think the kind of peer support you have, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that would be the bigger deal for him.
That might be the Ishan. Can I see your face? I can see the top of your cap. What do you think? Do you have any comments?
As in?
As in? As in, how do you see CoVersity helping you? How do you see
Yeah. It just seems like it would help me, because the way I've been learning is a bit slow, so I think it'll help me learn quicker and get more professional quicker.
Yeah, I think, see, Chris and Ishan, exactly what he said, right? This is more focused on, okay, I want to become a professional. I'm not, even if I'm not sure of my domain, but I am ready for that. Many teens may still not be ready at 13, 14, let's say 15 also. But if you're ready to kind of crack it and get down to doing a lot of work in the same domain for a committed period of time, then coversity is like, it really fuels your journey in that sense. And it's like an acceleration, in that sense.
And you're surrounded by other, kids your age and older, which I think is appealing.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
So one more from me. So when you say that we can join when, say in January, when the new set of cohorts is advised, are you saying that there will be sort of a list, or a finite set of skills that we can, the kids can sort of access? Because I understand it's not possible probably for you to uh, have cohorts for just about everything, right? So can I assume that?
Okay, so Aarti, the cohort, we don't have cohorts specific to the domains,
Okay.
These youth would be doing different, I mean, each individual is in their different domains. Some is into baking, someone is into digital marketing, but the nature of their journey is the common ground on which they connect. So the idea of the cohort is they come together in terms of, their planning, they're reflecting, connecting in terms of like just the mere fact, like when they were building portfolios, suddenly you have the minds of 7 people working for you. You're not alone in that journey. So someone's picking up ideas from here, so you're sharing your ideas with, so there's a lot of synergy, and I would say that's the highlight. That's the driving force which, keeps them like even on days when there is a lull for any one person, just the mere fact that they have someone to connect of the same age makes a lot of difference, is what we've seen.
Okay, so the domain is flexible. It can be just about
Any
anything that the
domain,
children want to do.
any domain,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
I have one more question. So I'll just share about a teenager. He's like around 2019, uh, and he used to go to an architecture college, and he just dropped out of college, and we were trying to understand from him why he doesn't want to continue. So there were two things that he shared with us. One was that he doesn't feel the inner motivation to do architecture, and he's also very he's not he's good with visualization, but he's not willing to take that effort of doing the sheets and other labor work that the job involves. And the third thing, he said that he's also being bullied in college because he took a drop like that. So uh, s- like now like his parents are not sure like why is he really wanting to quit like that. So my question here would be that sometimes children change their domains or say that we're not interested in a particular thing because there is a hidden reason to it of them not wanting to confront something difficult in that situation. So what is the role that facilitators or mentors at Aarohi play here? Or as I shared the situation, what would you do in a situation like that? Just trying to understand that.
So that's a good question, Karishma. And, with CoVersity, again, it's very different from college in the sense that if you know about Aarohi, we are a community of open learning families. So the facilitators are not just Aarohi facilitators, even the parents become part of the guides. So the guides are basically facilitators plus parents. So parents who are not guiding just their child, in fact, they are guides to the entire cohort. So each one is looking, after each other. And so there is weekly, the cohort and the guides meet. There is, discussion in terms of where we are, where's the support that's needed. They tell us what's the kind of support that they need. And the guy, so the idea is to stay connected at regularly, like each week there's a connect between the guides and the cohort. And the idea is to see where each of us is in our respective journeys. That's the whole reason why the guides, I mean the family is so closely aligned in this fashion, in the sense like they also become guides to the cohort. So the idea is really communication, connection, and just an understanding of where they are and how we can, as parents and facilitators, kind of empower them. I mean, they're already empowered to a great extent. Just give them that a bit of that push wherever it's required.
Okay, so the nudging happens to help them think deeper also, I'm assuming. Yes.
Yeah, actually, the bigger nudging happens from the cohort itself. So you gave me the example of this teen or this youth being not I mean, he liked some bits of architecture, but some bits are not exciting for him, right? So like when Srijani, who was interested in baking, the first step that the cohort did was like, I like a particular thing about a domain. Let's say I like baking cake. So I think I want to take this up as a profession. But when you look at a domain, there are so many angles to just the whole aspect of baking, right? You could think of food critic, you could think about content, food content creator, food, or like these cloud kitchens, or, the traditional bakeries, or just a menu curator. So the more she researched, she realized that there are so many facets to any domain. And while we really view domains in very singular fashion, that if there's architecture, I'm only an architect, who would be designing buildings or something. But I'm sure the idea is to expand the horizon of each domain and see what aspect is enjoyable for me. And coming to the third part of your story, where you said he wants to switch or he's not very clear. I mean, just look around you and you would see so many adults who had qualification in some uh, particular field, but they're kind of doing work in something else. I'm one prime example. But yeah, I'm sure in your own circles, you'll see so many. So somewhere as we are okay with adults switching their careers. And in this day and age, it's become very normalized, as in people are okay to kind of pursue what they want to, after their first job or something. We are saying, why not kind of prepone that? And when there's less responsibilities and the more energy, all the energy is there, why not devote it to kind of deeply explore multiple domains if you're not sure?
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you want, the youth can get in touch with us if he needs, or he can talk to one of the youth at CoVersity. So we are always open to any of these things. Just let us know and we can facilitate that.
Oh, that will be very helpful. Thank you.
Sure, sure. Okay, so just kind of chipping in here, we can take more questions. So the next step is, okay, no matter how much I tell you about this journey, it's really not possible for one to kind of get a sense of how does it really work, which is why we have these trial weeks where you kind of, get into the zone of rigorous doing for 5 days as a cohort. And the next in Jan is when you can join the current cohort, like you start your 1 year journey. But before that, this trial week is where you get to experience this way of doing for good 5 days. And we've seen like so much of the way you approach your process of doing changes with at the end of those 5 days. Yeah.
So
Any
this
other?
is 1 year on campus, right, Kritika?
Sorry, who is this asking? I'm
This
not.
is Aarti.
Yeah,
Aarti.
Aarti, 1 year, part of the time is on campus, like the current cohort which started in July. From July to September, they were on campus. Now from October to December, they'll be in their industry exposure phase. And again, there it's not a very rigid time frame. Like for some of them, their internships are extending into Jan. So they continue with their internship because that's the value they're getting value from that, right? So they continue with that. For some, it's getting over between the next 2 months. So they come back to campus. So it's a very hybrid model in the sense the first few months you're on campus, then you go to the industry phase. Now this industry phase bit, for some it is in their city as well, so they are at their homes. For Srijani and Shriya, who are daughters of Vajra Prasad, now these girls are doing their internship in Bangalore, so they're in a new city. So for some it's like work from home kind of a model that's working, like so yeah, so it really is dependent on which field, all those things.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is there a difference in cost between the regular open learning at campus and the CoVersity?
No, Chris. It all stays the same.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we have Hari here, who is one of the youth, and he is currently interning. So he is interested in automobiles, and he is interning with the Tata Service Center. And interestingly, we were told that he is the first person without a degree to be interning there, and he's joining a team of polytechnic students interning along with them. So again, his parents were also interviewed. Hi, Hari. Thank you for joining in.
Hello, Kritika. I'm home when I reach my talk.
Okay, your voice is not very audible, but that's okay. Thank you for joining. Yeah. VP, any thoughts from you? And maybe then we can, if there are no questions, we can pause for the day.
Nothing, Kritika. Is there any doubts? And we can ask.
Yeah. So parents, whoever, if you want to connect with any of the CoVersity parents, or if you want your children to speak to one of the youth to really see what's happening and how is it working for them, we are more than happy to facilitate that. Just get in touch with us and we'll make that happen.
Maybe one last question from me again. This is Aarti.
Okay.
So just to get a sense, not in terms of any comparison or anything. I know every child is different and every child is gifted, but in the current batch, what is the youngest? What is the age of the youngest child who's doing CoVersity with you?
13. So we have all
13.
the 7
Okay.
are different age groups. We have 13, we have 14. We don't have 15, we have 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah. So we have all the ages.
So 13 is not too young then. That was my question.
Not really, Aarti. It really depends. And that's why this trial week is important, right? Like, even if your child is, maybe that's not working out, open learning is always there. So take your time, do open learning, get accustomed to, this way of doing, where it's more emphasis is on doing rather than, the doing and the learning go together. And CoVersity is really just about, the industry aspect coming in and a bit more focus or more focus on particular domain coming.
Wonderful. It's excellent. Sounds very good. Very, very good. I work in the mining industry, just to make a point. I work in the mining industry and I've been in the mining industry for 15 years. And we get we hire all kinds of educated, highly educated, qualified, all of that. But we still have to, get them into the system, train them, do all of that. So I'm with you, on what you're saying. The example you made about Tata Services. Yes, education and degrees help, but being in the environment, nothing can beat that. Nothing.
Ultimately, we all do that only, right? I mean, we are learning on the job.
You have to learn on the job. So it's a fantastic initiative, and philosophically and theoretically, it does make a lot of sense. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah.
Can I just say something to Aarti?
Yes, please.
We've been unschooling, homeschooling. We've been doing a mix of open learning with our children. Ishan's 13. He just joined at the campus just over a month ago. So it was our first. It was our first time him being as a resident at the campus, if you like, him being away from home. And that's worked really well for us and for him. And I think this jump to CoVersity for us at least, is not a big jump at all, because he has a focus already on what he wants to do. Yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. It's not something that's scary at all. He's very happy. The campus is lovely. He's very happy there. There's lots of different age groups, and yeah, just this jump through to CoVersity, I think is exciting, but not worrying at all. Yeah.
Thank you so much for saying that, Christelle, because like I said, I've been hearing and talking and discussing with Aarohi for 2 years, but I've not been able to flip the switch. So what you're saying is very encouraging, and I am planning to do a visit in December. I intend to sign up for that with my daughter, and hopefully we can jump the boat and join this wonderful group of people.
Okay. Thank you all. I'm just going to hit a poll now, which is just to see what's the next step we can take with you, and that will help us stay connected. So if all of you could just take the poll, that would be great. I have launched it. Yeah.
How to switch to poll, Kritika?
Sorry. Yeah, VP.
I'm not able to get the poll icon is coming in the top of the left, but I am not able to go to the poll screen.
Okay, can any of you help him? I'm not able to see. I mean, it's perfectly fine for me. Was this challenge for anyone else?
No, it
came
works for me.
straight there and worked. Yeah, worked for me as well.
Okay, VP, can you just try dragging that whatever is visible to the center of your screen? Maybe that should help. Yeah. In any case, we can stay connected, VP. So I think that's okay. It's okay if we don't take the poll. All right. I'm just going